Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Xavier Valdes. I am 17 years old, and I am a senior at the Ateneo de Manila High School. Although my eyes may tell you that I am from Japan, or Korea, or China, I am in fact a pure Filipino. I have lived here my entire life, save for a few trips abroad, which have only served to strengthen my love for my country and my countrymen. I love being Filipino. I love how we pick things up with our feet, how we point with our lips, how we eat with our hands, our hospitality, our staunch zeal for God, and how we treat our elders with respect and love. But one trait that I am not so inclined to admire about us is our Messiah complex. Now, I'm not talking here about the Messiah complex that leads one person to believe that he can save the nation. No. I am talking about the Messiah complex that leads all of us to think that one person, one guy, will solve all our problems and eliminate all our hardships overnight. We have this bad habit of looking for just one person, one leader, whom we believe will eliminate poverty, annihilate corruption, develop infrastructure, and usher in a renaissance for our nation just like that. And we look everywhere for this leader, ladies and gentlemen. Everywhere, that is, except inside ourselves. Now, as we all know, the Philippines has been in a rut for the last couple of decades. 70% of us are below the poverty line, and many, many more are skirting dangerously close to it. Now, most people would say, what can I do? I'm just a student. I don't have the experience of a leader. Or, I am just a farmer. I don't have the education of a leader. Or, I am not a politician. I don't have the power or the charisma of a leader. But ladies and gentlemen, this much I have learned. Leadership is not about power or charisma. It is not about social class or distinction. And it is not about job experience or education. It is about something that is much, much more fundamental than all these. John C. Maxwell once said, leadership is about influence. Nothing more and nothing less. And under this definition, ladies and gentlemen, every man, woman, and child in this nation of 90 million is a leader in his or her own right. The blind beggar, the grandmother, the little girl, the student, the non-politician, the Chinese-looking Filipino boy, they are all leaders in their own respective communities, and they all have influence. Leadership is something that transcends age, class, social distinction, gender, and yes, even the shape of one's eyes. You are a leader simply because you are part of society. You're one strand in a web interconnected with 90 million others. If we would just recognize this fact, that we are all leaders, and that we all have influence, and play these truths out in our daily lives, we'll be able to bring about change. And we'll be able to become the very messiahs that our country so desperately needs. Now, a good friend of mine, someone I know, who recognized the messiah and the leader in him, is a classmate named Quinto. Now, when I first met Quinto, my impression of him was one, that he loved to eat, and two, that he loved to have fun. He was always cracking the funniest jokes, and the highlight of his day was what he had for lunch. He joined a school organization that did magic tricks, thinking that he would have a lot of fun performing in front of people. And fun he did have. He relished entertaining audiences and lived for that bewildered smile that people would get whenever he made something disappear or whenever he guessed their card right. I think that it is this passion for making people happy that eventually led him to run for org president and win. He loved making people happy so much that he made their happiness his responsibility. He stopped asking himself, what can I do to have a good time? And instead asked himself, what can I do to help other people have a good time? I would have never thought, back when I met him in the first year, that this fluffy, fun-loving, roly-poly friend of mine would grow into such a wonderful, wonderful leader. But Quinto transcended himself. He dared himself to do more and to be more because he saw the magic in his magic. He knew that he could make a difference and now he is the difference maker for his organization. He has inspired so many people, including myself, to think past their own personal needs and desires and to reach out and try to be the Messiah in their own small ways in their communities. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I am only 17 years old. My experience is limited to my humble student council, and my charisma only grants me a small, charming audience. I don't know much about government policy or politics, but I'll tell you what I do know. I know that things cannot go on the way they are, and that there needs to be a change. I know that I am a leader, and that I can make a difference just like every single person here in this hall today. I know that if we all commit ourselves to try to be the messiahs that our country needs, we can break down these walls, and on the other side, we will find the Philippines. That is the envy of the entire world. But we must make this choice together. We must choose to be the saviors, and we must choose to be the leaders that we can in our own small circles of influence. Are we going to continue to just sit around and wait for some person other than ourselves to pick us up off the ground and to save us? Or will we harness the messiahs and leaders that are in each and every one of us to spark a powerful mindset and to instigate a revolution that will bring us out of this darkness and give birth to a new nation? My fellow leaders, we have a choice before us. Let us make the right decision, because the future of our country is in our hands. Thank you very much and good evening.
We are set to announce tonight's champion. And the voice of leadership champion is Mr. Xavier Valdes from the Ateneo de Manila High School.